Well, hello. We're here again.
Must go
Third
to the
time
dentist
running.
every time I see that now.
What? What do
I
you
see
mean?
my British teeth in the video you made.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So we're back for another episode.
Maybe we could get a sponsor,
Yeah,
a dentist sponsor.
really. Okay, that wasn't the
Sorry.
introduction I was expecting.
Okay,
to
sorry.
do
Start
today.
again. Carry on. This is live. Go.
No, it's okay. It's another episode of the Barefoot broadcast, and I'm joined here with my lovely husband, Mr. Carl Munson, and this is our show where we, I don't know, we just do what we can to discuss where joy is.
Have you forgotten that strapline?
Yeah,
have you forgotten that
Can
brilliant
you remind
strapline?
me?
Light relief on Planet Shit Show. I mean, that's all you need to say. All you need to say. All you need to know.
Sorry, you threw me off with your British teeth and my.
I was just thinking. I'm reaching out for a sponsor.
Oh, look.
The Barefoot broadcast brought to you by.
Do you know what I really want?
Apex Dental Care.
I really. Do you know what I was thinking? Is it too late to have braces?
At your age or at this time of night?
No, at my age.
No, it's not. People have braces at any age.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you're, 80 or 90, you might not bother. You might not have any teeth to put braces on at that.
Yeah, that's the point.
Then you'd have a different
treatment.
Sorry.
Teeth aside, I'd like to say hello to Colleen.
Me too.
Because Colleen's here. Hey, Colleen. Nice to see you on our new channel. And we're talking about Guru-Splaining tonight and the law of lesser pisses. Now,
are we?
Yeah.
Did you snuck in the law of lesser pisses?
You said that's what the title was. I dutifully did it.
Okay.
Now, I'm not that familiar with Guru-Splaining.
So no one is, because I only thought of it yesterday afternoon.
Okay, go on then. Tell us what that is then.
Can I just create a bit more context?
Sure.
And I'd like to say how nice it is to be here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a moment of connection for us, isn't it? After an intensely busy day. And excuse me, in a moment for quiet connection with others who tune in. That's the idea. You and I are here in this environment that we've created, and we can have a little bit of peace, can't we, in a busy life? And others are welcome to join us in that moment of and if Colleen, you're the only, I think you might be the only viewer at the moment.
We've got a couple of viewers.
Okay, but can we have a volunteer, please, to say gong at around 10 minutes? It doesn't have to be exactly, and it's really good if it takes us by surprise. So if you type gong like you're our Zen teacher into the chat, we'll see it, and then we'll fall still and quiet, and we'll do what is the, I guess to me, is the primary state. We'll do our best to reacquaint ourselves with the primary state of peace and resourcefulness and calm and love. If you can. Oh, you're going to already. That's fantastic. She's ahead of the game.
Yeah, we're getting some messages in. So I was going to already. That's lovely. And she's showing her teeth. And our good friend Carl McAdam, who's downstairs at the moment. Hi, lovelies. Your downstairs supportive friend here. By the way, I don't think you need braces, Louisa. Beautiful smile. Thank you very much.
That's what I should have said.
Yeah.
Carl, that's my line.
Bless you.
2 Carls in the house.
I know. I mean, how wonderful.
And I'm not. I don't really like.
Got the same initials as well. So
and you know what? But I'm really not sure about the idea of a downstairs supportive friend. That sounds like a pair of supportive underpants, doesn't it? You're down.
You need a pair of those.
Tenor, your downstairs supportive friend. Another sponsorship opportunity.
Okay, sponsorship opportunities aside.
Okay, so is it quiet after?
So gong.
I don't know what.
10 minutes and 20 minutes.
Colleen was going to gong us, which is great. I am no girdle.
This is going to be a
Thank
good
you
show.
for being a downstairs supportive friend, mate. It's a chance for everyone to breathe out. Yeah. And a little bit of a giggle is good, isn't it? Because as we know, it's laughter yoga, isn't it? And it's good for the breathing. And laughter, the best medicine, etc. So light-hearted, light relief on Planet Shit Show.
Yes.
Yeah. What's going on? Are you just checking the mic there?
I'm just checking
that technical stuff.
Yeah,
aren't we?
I know. Behind the scenes, I'm learning.
Yeah, great. Okay.
So come on then, Guru-Splaining.
Okay.
I think I might have got Guru-Splained earlier on the phone tonight.
Oh, so well, okay. Check. Okay. I've definitely Guru-Splained you many times in our relationship. I see it as one of my it's in the shadow side of my husbandly duties rather than the it's not in the love and light column. It's like it's a shadow activity of the familiarity of relationship, I suppose, and friends and complete strangers. And it's, I mean, in many ways, that's the worst when it happens with complete strangers. So mansplaining, I think you said mumsplaining. Mums do it as well, don't they? Mums have got their own way of mumsplaining. You know, and I suppose the splaining phenomenon is telling people things they haven't asked you to tell them, essentially.
So it's unsolicited
Information.
Right.
And Guru-Splaining is when it's spiritual, unsolicited spiritual advice. Now, it's an interesting area altogether, isn't it? Because, you know, when people say, oh, I've prayed for you, it's like, that's probably quite good. That's probably given me more credit with God. And you think, I didn't ask you to. And what have you been saying to God about me? It's like, in many ways, it's polite, I think, to ask for permission, isn't it? When you, before you mess it, because, you know, you and I have a sense of, or not like, you know, a construct around energy and thinking about someone and thinking things about them and wishing things for them is actually quite, I mean, we can't stop it, can we? You can't stop it happening. But if you think about it, it is quite polite in a way to ask, isn't it? To seek permission. And it's the same for Guru-Splaining. So typically, if I use my own hideous experience of being a Guru-Splainer for many decades now, and you know, this is a chance for us new agers to laugh at ourselves and each other. You come back, if you go to on the Landmark Forum as one example, you come back and you're talking to somebody, just a, you know, perfectly ordinary conversation down the pub. Hi, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm all right. You know, I had a bit of a row with the missus. And then the Guru-Splainer, the person who's come back from, in this instance, the Landmark Forum thing, says, yeah, well, the problem with you is it's like you're a 5-year-old, you know, you're a 50-year-old with being run by a 5-year-old. You haven't got over your early traumas, and you're just running your life through a winning formula. And there's an awkward silence suddenly, isn't there? Like,
I think I recognise that line.
What did you? And it's like, yeah, I mean, basically, you need to ask yourself: do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Now, funny thing is that all of those things are true, I think, aren't they? In the right context, but when they haven't been invited or asked for, it's like, ouch! Oh, so you know, I'm back from my non-violent communication course, and you know, we're having again, we're down at the pub, and he said, how are you, mate? Yeah, I'm all right, feeling a bit tired. Had a bit of a row with the missus and the kids. I'm glad to be out down the pub. It's like, well, it sounds to me like you're not getting your needs met. You know, you really need to stop using violent language with your wife and kids and ask them what their needs are, and, you know, address their needs first, and maybe make requests for behavior that suits your needs. And like, what? Yeah. You weren't saying this before you went on your NVC course, and now suddenly you're a black belt in nonviolent communication. And it's that sort of thing, you know, people have been on a course or read a book, and they tell you, and I will, you know, completely acknowledge it comes from a good place, but no good deed goes unpunished. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and I think we probably can. Who here has Guru-Splained? And who here has been Guru-Splained at? Yes, definitely. So that's Guru-Splaining.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, unsolicited spiritual advice.
Do you know what? Going back a step to the unsolicited prayers, when I hear someone's been praying for me, I actually feel a bit violated.
Well, you can't stop them.
No. But it's kind of like when someone tells you, and there's a sense of pride. I always think, crikey.
Why were you praying for me?
Yeah.
What did I do wrong?
Yeah, like, what did I do wrong?
How in the eyes of God am I?
Yeah, but actually, I'm more curious about how I am in their eyes.
That they needed to pray for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be passive-aggressive coaching as well, can't it? So instead of saying to someone honestly, you know, what would it be? How you communicate. I don't like how you communicate with me. They say, I pray to God that your communication would improve.
Yes, we've got a couple.
And God said yes, He would work on it.
Okay. Oh yes.
You.
When someone tells you
what the extra bit,
yeah,
the reply
that's
from God.
The bit that I find really quite troubling.
Well, God agreed with me about how terrible you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Scott Flinchbauer said it's
Oh.
often how you say something versus
But
what
look,
you
though,
say.
we've got to stop.
Oh, okay. It's time for the gong. Okay, let's.
Thank you, Colleen.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Colleen. I just felt that.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I did.
The
At
drop.
the same time. Whew, all of a sudden, there was this
Our
kind of like
biorhythms
rush of energy.
Yes, our Kundalini biorhythms are in alignment, I think,
Oh,
suddenly.
that's so nice.
We have a chakra entwinement going on underneath the desk, possibly.
I love how you said that. Emma Bolter Williamson is with us.
Hello,
Good evening,
lovely to see
lovely
you
ones.
Here. Yeah, we see you.
We do see you. We definitely see
Should
you.
we say that to everyone who joins us? We see you.
I think so.
We see you. Did you mention Scott?
Yes, I did.
What is Scott saying?
You were going into your quiet moment.
Yeah.
It's often how you say something versus what you say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in many ways that is the world of human communication, isn't it? Because everything, as they say, is a cry for a love or an expression of love underneath it all. And then it gets covered over, doesn't it, with all these horrific ways of communicating that, like microaggressions, they get called, don't they? And so on, yeah.
And Emma's saying she loves us, and I see you too. That's so nice. So we've got another couple of comments. Emma's saying, I agree with the unsolicited prayers. I have a friend who always says that to me, and I feel the same. Like, what do you think of me?
Yeah. I don't know if we can help with that. Should we do sort of an agony column here?
Yeah.
Because what Emma could say is, my friends Carl and Louisa on the Barefoot broadcast have been praying about you, and God said to them that it would be good if you stopped praying about me. Touche. Try that, Emma. So let us know how you get on with that.
Carl downstairs, our downstairs support, is saying,
"Oh, feel much better for that suddenly."
I've experienced both giving and receiving Guru-Splaining. Know-it-alls on both sides.
Know-it-alls. There you go.
It's funny. I got a call or like a message earlier that somebody wanted to have a little bit of astrology or was thinking about astrology. So I reached out and had a short call, and it was really interesting because it felt like I was being what's the word, taught how it really was, and it was really fascinating to be in a situation where you go to just find out what somebody might need or what somebody might be interested in, and where we might meet in the middle. And actually I got a lot of, this is how it is, and this, and lots of
top Gurusplaining.
Yeah, lots of lots of astrological terms that I know, but I didn't need to have them mentioned or anything. It's almost like it might have been top trumps, actually. Where people play.
But if someone goes out of their way to ring you
trumps
to tell you this stuff, they do sound a bit insecure, don't they?
I'm sure it was just one of those kind of situations where if we'd met in real life, it might have been easier.
Or you could have said, this is actually an 0898 line, and thank you for your information. That's now cost you £1.50. But you got Gurusplaining, great example of a bit of Gurusplaining there.
Yeah, it was interesting because I wasn't there really to kind of be all like, look at me, I'm an astrologer and everything. I was just there to kind of just to see if there's anything I could do to help. And
road to hell.
Yes.
The road to hell started right there, didn't it?
Yeah. We've got Newbinette in the house tonight saying, hello everyone. No, don't see me. Another day homesick. Oh, you're sick. Oh no.
Do you know what? And immediately I thought, we do see you, and a big hug to you, but she's saying, don't see me. So we should go with that, shouldn't we?
Okay,
we should go with what she.
We don't see you.
We don't. Not seeing you.
Okay.
I'm still not seeing you.
But we hope that if you are feeling a bit sick, that you feel better soon.
Yeah.
And actually, we did see you earlier, actually, on another
show.
show.
That's connected, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we immediately say that, don't we? Get well soon. We can't assume that that's what people want.
That's a really good
point.
We? Yeah.
That, again, is invasive. I know that sounds really pernickety now, and it might get to a world of, as well as pronouns, people choose the responses. I don't want any proactive or passive aggressive responses which prejudge my needs.
Ooh, you've touched on something for me there.
Really? Go on.
Yeah. Like many years ago, I had glandular fever, which led into about CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, also known as ME. I was really poorly for a really long time. And for most people that have like post-viral fatigue syndrome, you'll know that nobody can see that you're ill and you look completely normal. And people almost don't believe you're poorly. And so I would get a lot of people talking to me, telling me how...
You don't
how
look
well
sick.
I was.
You don't look sick.
Yeah, kind of disabusing me of my mind view.
Yeah.
And I know it's a little bit different to mansplaining, Guru-Splaining, etc., etc. But there is, it is interesting, isn't it, when people deny you your worldview or how you feel about yourself, or tell you something. It's also like when people pay you a compliment about something that you don't believe. You don't want to receive it, do you?
So complicated out there, isn't it? It really is.
And yeah, I wonder, you know, where's our responsibility in all of this?
To keep talking, right?
Yeah.
To keep talking, because that leads us on, doesn't it, to the law of lesser pissers?
Go on then.
You know, so let's take that situation. How are you? I've actually got CFS and I'm having one of my bad days. Well, you don't look ill.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why are you at the shops then?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And at that point, you and this is I was going to ask you this actually about the earlier Guru-Splaining incident. The astrologically tainted Guru-Splaining incident that you had earlier on, to give it its correct name. You had a range of responses available, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
like,
totally.
Go screw yourself. Well, you are really wasting my time here. You know, you're not that sort of person, are you?
No.
To say that.
Well, no, because I felt like, you know, the person I was talking to, well, it just appeared to me that maybe we should never have been in a call and that there were crossed wires.
Yes.
And I don't think you can blame somebody for having those crossed wires necessarily.
Yeah.
It was all done innocently, so I wasn't going to be an asshole about it.
Even if they were.
I don't think they were being an asshole.
I do. I do, but that's just my opinion, and it doesn't matter. It's not important, is it?
Yeah,
it's not important.
We had a bit of a troll earlier, didn't we, on one of our other shows? Who said,
"Oh, it's continued." I didn't tell you. One of their friends has got involved, and I wanted to talk about that as well, actually, because I was called live on air one of the worst words you can be called. Right? It's fair to say that
begins with the letter C.
Yeah, and I didn't hook. And I thought that was the most interesting thing about it. You were upset about it, weren't you?
I was shocked.
I
actually,
wasn't.
And I was like,
you became very defensive of me, which is very sweet and kind of you.
Well, I've seen how much effort you've gone to accommodate this person who just snaps at you.
Sure. But you know, for me, I didn't have that. I just, and what I thought was interesting about that was, if you don't have any, if you genuinely, and I feel like I genuinely didn't take it as a kick in the guts, like some things you see on social media are. Sometimes something can come up.
Savage, aren't they?
You know, I have had comments in the last, or a particular incident I can think of, and the reason I can think of it is because it hit me and hurt me so bad.
Yeah.
That got me, and so. What's the difference between being called the worst word on the internet or in social media context, or one of them anyway, and being called something else that was like a en passant put down? And to me, I've got to admit that the difference is there was the latter exposed something which needed looking at.
Really?
And the first didn't.
Can you go a bit deeper into that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was going off on. Excuse me. I used my personal Facebook timeline to be right about things.
Okay.
And assert my worldview. And
which is everyone's right on Facebook, right?
Well, this is what I got challenged. You see.
Okay.
Really, the best place to be right and not want to be challenged and avoid being offended, being challenged, is in the privacy of your own head.
Yes.
Isn't it? I mean, James Holly was talking to me about this. It's like, why are people surprised when they put things on social media and other people react in ways that they find offensive? Like, of course that would happen if that's how you choose to express yourself. And the more righteous you are in your I mean, you would imagine, wouldn't you? Like, this is what I used to think until this happened.
Okay, I'm going to bell you there. We've got, and we can come back to this. And I wonder how different you're going to feel. Thank you, Colleen.
Oh. Did you get the same again?
Yes.
I don't know if anyone else is doing it and feeling that.
They're probably all like,
wouldn't it be great if you could do this on all the TV shows you watched?
Yeah.
Like, you're watching Fox News and this is Tucker Carlson. Why is that? Oh, I just see the gong. Hold on a minute. That's really so much better. Just be great.
Just before you go any further, we've got a couple of comments from Carl. Our support down says, maybe we need to ask each other first before we begin any conversing, how we should communicate, pre-plan to avoid pain. I actually agree with that.
Oh, no. Really?
I have also found that if available to both, being open about the potential of these traits can help to avoid the Guru-Splaining.
Yes.
Potentially.
Potentially, yes.
And then he adds, I've also found that if available... Oh, that's just come up again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, when we have something we want to share with each other, I will very pointedly say, I would like you to listen to this. I don't want you to fix this.
We've had to do that, haven't we?
Yeah, and that gives you the prompt to know what kind of response I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were telling us about
my terrible moment
where this person.
Yeah. So
was it somebody that you knew?
No, it's a stranger.
A complete stranger went onto your timeline.
So this is the offence that they caused me. And I mean, they were just expressing an opinion, which they're entitled to do in a public space, which really my timeline, even though it's mine, is a public space.
Okay.
And I made it public with the privacy or whatever lack of that I bestowed upon it. Yeah. So they said this quip, which I got hurt by. Oh, really? What bit of me got hurt? Not a bit I'm desperately keen to protect and preserve. And that was the gift. That was the gift in this thing. Because I mean, part of what helped me with that as well is what James also said about, you know, when people speak to you, they are revealing themselves. This is worth remembering in human communication, isn't it? And especially so if there are accusations. So when people say, you know, the trouble with you is, or you always, that's their embittered experience or personal opinion and anger being expressed as though it was you doing that. But what they're saying is that when you do that, it has this effect on me. But they kind of project it out, don't they, onto you, if that still makes sense, the complexity of that. And it was, I had my idea of, this is my timeline, I'll post what I want on it, completely challenged, because it is a public space. And that precious little, this is my, because you and I have said that, haven't we, before? That precious little, this is my timeline and I'll say what I want on it, is true. I can say what I want on it, but I think it's foolish to be, and I've seen that, you know, it was unwise to be offended if it's an open space, which it is. My Facebook profile, I think, is open to friends of friends, and that would mean strangers. Just funnily enough, it's like a double negative, isn't it? And this guy just gave his opinion. That's all he did. He gave his opinion, but it hooked me. But something considerably worse by most other people's standards didn't at all. You know, because I felt clear and clean in the relationship I had with this person who expleted at me. I feel very secure in my understanding or sense of being available to them as much as I possibly could, and had to draw a boundary. And I'm good with that. And that's why their continued anger and name calling didn't affect me.
Lots of name calling.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the person on my timeline. I'm talking about the other person today where this began.
Yeah. It's fascinating, isn't it? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. How, I mean, I I just don't go onto other people's timelines to tell them that they're wrong. That just
But
seems
some
a bit
people
rude.
do.
Yeah, and
Some
I
people
do feel quite offended when somebody does that to me, and I shouldn't be shocked.
Well, I've had it again tonight. A complete stranger.
Another one.
Yeah, a complete stranger said to me, "Call me son," and I pulled him up on that. I said, "Son." He said, "Yeah, I'm a Cockney. I'm talking
Right,
to you," and I said, "Oh, okay." And it's really funny because in that instance where this person was pretty hostile, you know, he called me a number of things, and he didn't. He didn't have
What's going on your timeline today?
I was just tagged in this conversation,
Right.
and I pride myself on being in these situations, and pride always comes before a fall, of course. But I pride myself in being in these situations to test something, to test myself.
Yeah, you do actually,
and not to win necessarily. Although that comes into it sometimes, and being right and winning and so on definitely comes into it. But there is a great. It's high risk because it can go. There's so much missing, isn't there, from social media communication. But it was. I found this really good. Me and this guy were just having a very. When you know what the rules are and the context is, and it's really rough and robust, and it's not personal. That made it all suddenly easier. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. This going.
So we've gone from Guru-Splaining to kind of. How would you characterize that?
Oh, nastiness on the internet. It's perceived.
Okay, so what about the law of lesser pisses?
Oh, well, this goes back to what you could have said, the range of responses you had with that earlier conversation. The law of lesser pissers, as far as I'm aware,
is this a real law, or is this one you've made up?
I think
you do make. I'm not saying you make stuff up, but you come up with these like ideas, and you say them with such authority that sometimes
that's the way to do it. You see,
sometimes I wonder if it's actually
someone told me this. Hold on, I did a cough button for us both.
Well done.
I think it was Dr. John D Martini, and this is accredited to, and I don't know if that's true or not. I was just told that it was him who'd said it. And if you're in a situation where you're going to piss yourself off or somebody else off, it's best to piss the other person off and not yourself, which is connected.
Why is that in a Tucker Carlson?
Because you've got to live. Why is that?
Why is that?
Because you've got to live with yourself, haven't you?
Right.
And if you compromise with yourself, you have to cope with the consequences, deal with the consequences. It's a bit like the conversation we had about apologizing, isn't it? Do you want to apologize to yourself or someone else? In the interactions of your life and the behavior in your life, would it be best to be someone who apologizes to other people for your behavior, or not saying what you wanted to say and then having to apologize to yourself later on? And I think it's the same. It's like it's best to pee other people off, and it's best to apologize to other people rather than to have to apologize to yourself. But not as an act of hostility or war. It's a bit like radical honesty, isn't it?
Not like you are going out of your way to piss somebody else off.
No, certainly not.
I mean, I can think of a few examples where we've ignored or I'll speak for myself, where I've ignored my own like red flags.
Exactly.
I felt
instincts,
an instinct, when I've been sort of interacting with people, and I've ignored what my body's been telling me. And then 6 months down the line, it becomes really clear why my body was warning me.
Yeah. And then that's where you're apologizing to yourself.
Yeah. And actually, I would rather apologize to somebody else. What I really want to do is say to my body, I really trust you.
And I'm sorry I didn't listen.
I'm really sorry I didn't listen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what if you had a relationship with your body and your instincts that you was like, we are such a good team.
Yeah.
You saving me so much trouble.
Yeah,
but actually,
I appreciate you. I see you.
Yeah. The conversation most people might have with their instincts, I suspect, is, I'm sorry I didn't listen again.
Yeah. We've got a couple of final comments, and then let's draw this up because it's almost 30 minutes. Carl saying, please do read my emojis though for any potential sarcasm or for taking things lightly.
I'm offended already. It's too late. You read that comment too late.
And then really challenging on social media. Maybe it's a bit of ego wounding.
It was. Yeah.
Do we comment in order to learn or to teach?
Yeah.
That's a really
and to see yourself as being butthurt, ego wounded, I think is quite a big step. And you don't have to comment back, do you? You don't have to comment back, even if it is your own timeline. And that's a great distinction, isn't it? Am I coming back to teach them something or to learn something for myself.
Or do I just want to feel joy and ease and glory?
Ease, joy, and glory.
On that note, thank you very much for joining us again tonight. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, Carl.
I'm in a different state.
Same time tomorrow, maybe? It's quite a busy one tomorrow night, isn't it?
Well, I don't think we need necessarily wait till midnight every night. I mean, we might have moments, other moments in the day where this is possible. So it is a bit of a pop-up, and it's yet to be, the rhythm is yet to be, I think, decided. But yeah.
Speaking of rhythm, let's bring on our crazy,
I like what you did there.
Crazy disco style outro. Lots of love.
Shake
Thanks
it out.
for joining us. Bye
Oh,
for now.
actually, one more thing.
Oh, you're ruining it again.
It's my Columbo moment. Just one more thing. Maturity. Look at this. A thought.
Now, this I think is a whole new show, isn't it? This is maybe
all
where
right.
we
Well,
should
let's
start
leave
tomorrow.
it. Let's leave it on the screen, and at the end, as food for thought for next time. Sorry, Mrs. M, for doing that to you. But
For the second time running, is a bit of a pattern going here.
Look at that, Colleen. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Look at this, and from Nubianette as well. Goodbye. Thank you, folks.
Joy.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, play that tune. Play it if Harry could play it for me. Play it.
Bye.